Good morning. It's another good day. It's another episode of the JudgeMental podcast. And your boy is feeling a little rough this morning. Your boy is feeling like he might have ate a little too much last night. But it's okay. Life goes on. And life's going to go on. How you guys doing? Weather's been pretty fucking weird lately. And let's say this, for those of you who don't believe global warming is a thing, have you looked outside? Guys, I got up this morning and your boy's not in a good condition physically, right? Am I on my menstrual cycle? Because I'm feeling bloated. Okay. Is Gwyneth Paltrow holding a party in my mouth? Because it feels goopy. All right, but I went and I brushed my teeth and my mouth still feels goopy and slimy. And why, I don't know. But you know what? We're getting through the day anyway. We're coming in top levels of energetic. We're coming in top levels of energy. Nothing is stopping us. I got to start doing these in the beginning of the podcast, guys. Of course, keep in mind, anybody who might be listening, that I do stream 3 to 4 times a week on Twitch. You can follow me at twitch.tv/Kevin M. Cologne. We're holding Mortal Kombat and Tekken tournaments every single week, as much as I can do that. And yeah, listen, Tekken, did it piss me off a little bit last night? Yeah, but did I also rank up from fighter to juggernaut in no time with Ganryu? Yes, I did, and it fucking felt great. And God, Tekken is such a good game, man. Dude, listen, I love Mortal Kombat to death, but Tekken is such a good game, dude. It's so fun to learn. You know, I know people get frustrated at the difficulty of Tekken because it's so much information to take in, but that's working for me, man. That's the fun of it, dude. I don't know what people are gonna do. People don't know what I'm gonna do, but it's like a real life fight. If I have to fight you in real life, I have no idea if you're a Jeet Kune Do master. That's your business. But when we go to fight, I'll find out. And you have no idea that I'm a triple black belt in Krav Maga, huh? And I'm not, but you don't know if I am. And if I was, you'd just have to find out. And then it'd be a Jeet Kune Do master fighting a Krav Maga master. Now, I'm pretty sure I would win because I'm really good at fighting games. But that's your business, you know? That's your business. It's not really a problem for me. I'm not worried about hypothetical physical fights. Okay? I don't have time to be worried about hypothetical physical fights because I'm spending too much time on YouTube watching Dr. Phil. And boy, guys, listen. There's no point in my life where I've ever been concerned about whether I will or won't have access to cable TV. But they need to put Dr. Phil on Netflix. Hey, because watching these clips on YouTube, if he was on Netflix, all my money, man. All my money. Excuse me with my morning burps. Dude, Dr. Phil on YouTube is some of the best, like the combination of Dr. Phil, Steve Wilkos, Jerry Springer, To Catch a Predator. I mean, when these shows are just broken down into the bare essentials, when you can skip the commercial breaks on how to catch a predator. I want to get to the point where the guy's getting caught trying to touch the little girl when he goes in the house, and Chris Hansen comes out and reads him his weird text messages. I want to see that part. I don't want to see 14 Geico commercials in between all of that. I want to get to the part where the molester, well, the pedophile or the attempted pedophile, gets caught and tries to run out. They had an episode of this where the guy walked into the house, and I swear, I might be remembering this wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is how it went. My man walked into the crib, took a look around, thought to himself, hey, this looks like the To Catch a Predator house. Took a couple steps forward, saw the girl, went, oh no, and then booked it. Booked it 180 degrees in the other direction. Because he wanted to get out. Now, did he get tackled to shit because of course they plan for you to run out? Of course they have a backup plan if you try to sprint out. You know what I'm surprised? I'm surprised that more pedophiles on that show don't immediately turn around and sprint. Now, I would never be in that situation because I'm not a fucking pervert. Know this about me, okay? But if I was in a position like that, let's say I had a stalker and I go into my home and there's my stalker is sitting there. You don't immediately 180 degrees book it full sprint out of danger. Or do you sit there and then talk to the person for 2 hours and then explain to them, hey, listen, I know you're going to kill me, but I'll sit and have a conversation about it? Are you kidding me? Dude, if you're a pedophile and you end up on How to Catch a Predator, why would you give them... You already got caught. You're already caught. They already have all your messages, all your phone calls, all your emails, all the pictures of your dick that you sent out, which you got it. You got to imagine walking into that house and knowing that every single person in there has seen your dick except for the actress playing the little girl. The only person in the house that they wish would see their dick is the only one who hasn't seen it. How many dicks do you think Chris Hansen has seen at this point? Or do you think his team covers that for him? Like, whose job is it to look at the dick pic and go, yeah, no, he sent one. He's actually sending us 100. And then having to analyze all the dick pics to make sure they're the same dude. There's a dick pic guy on Chris Hansen's team. There has to be. Or girl, you know. Equal rights and all that. Equal opportunities for employment. But, I mean, I hope... I wonder how much that pays, actually. To be the dick pick employee on Chris Hansen's team. I hope it's a lot, or I hope you are also perverted and really like dicks. And I just spent 7 minutes talking about pedophiles and dicks. But how do you not just immediately sprint out? You're giving them, you know, if from what I've learned, now that I'm in the content creation business, if you're in a position where you're looking at an episode of How to Catch a Predator, and the episode is 30 minutes long, and 15 of those minutes, I don't remember how long the episodes are because I don't watch them, I watch the clips on YouTube. But let's say an episode is 30 minutes long. That means that they're probably sitting there interviewing that pedophile for what has to be 2 hours. How do you just sit there for 2 hours worth of entertainment with your face on TV? It makes no sense to me. But you know what? If they had any, I just rationalized it to myself, because if they had any sense of mind, they wouldn't be there in the first place, would they? So that's your solution to that. I hope the dick pic person on Chris Hansen's team gets paid a lot of money. And my advice to pedophiles who end up on that show, just skip and go to the jail part. You're going to jail, man. Let's just get to it, you know? Oh, man, but I mean, the real ringer here is, okay, so I'm watching these Dr. Phil clips on YouTube. And it's, you know, your usual amount of crazy people. Oh, here's a girl that wants attention on the internet. Here's a wife who's obsessed with YouTube and won't leave her husband alone. Here's a woman who lied about having muscular dystrophy, I think it's called, to go to a camp. Fucking psycho, right? But they have an episode where it's just basically My 600-Pound Life, but Dr. Phil is there. So there's this woman. Now, God knows how much she weighs. I don't think they mentioned it in the clip, and I didn't dig through more clips. What I clicked on was a video. Of course, I had been watching 100 Dr. Phil clips at this point. So the YouTube algorithm, in the rare case when it's doing its job, suggested a Dr. Phil related video to me with the title, and you can look this up on YouTube, with the title, Dr. Phil is a Savage. And I, of course, said, yep, this is the kind of stuff I'm trying to cut to. I watched Dr. Phil clips waiting for the part where one of the clients complains about something and they're being an asshole, and I just wait for Dr. Phil to go, oh, well, you know, that's not how it is in the real world. And then everybody claps, and then Dr. Phil, you know, like shakes his ass on stage, and then it rains confetti of $100 bills. That's my favorite part. That's all I'm waiting for, is Dr. Phil shutting down whoever the asshole is. And sometimes you don't get that. Sometimes it's just people chilling around and going, oh, well, you know, my life. And he goes, well, you go through this 20-step system. We have step number 1. You got to fix yourself. Step number 2, you'll be back in a month, and we'll send you to this camp. You can pet horses for 3 months, and then we'll clear your alcoholism. I don't know how it works. I've never had those problems. But this one, man, was it top level Dr. Phil Burns. And let me tell you guys, listen, I pride myself. I pride myself so much on my ability to improv insults. I try to do it on stream all the time. People will come in, say whatever they want to say to me. Hey, Kevin, you're trash at this game. Hey, Kevin, you look like you've been getting fat lately. Hey, Kevin, you mash on your controllers too hard. Hey, Kevin, you're ugly. Whatever it is. And I immediately got the snapbacks. I always have the snapbacks, okay? Like I have more snapbacks than a lids store. If you come to me on stream, you're walking into a lids store. You're walking into a lids retail store, and I'm staring at you, pointing at a wall of snapbacks going, hey, what color you want? You want the red snapback? You want the blue snapback today? And I've got to adjust it based on how sensitive my verbal opponent is here. But I've got a wall full of snapbacks. Which one would you like to buy? This one's expensive, but it fits you nicely, you know? I would have a problem verbally contesting with Dr. Phil if he could stay as quick. I don't care how much time he spent preparing these lines for this fucking woman, but it was the best thing I've ever seen, and I will not stop thinking about it all week. This is going to be in my life forever. And if I ever end up in this situation, I now have his snapbacks. I've got a Dr. Phil collection of snapbacks on that wall now. It's on the top row, sealed in glass where you can't reach or touch it. And I have to come personally and pull it down for you if you want to look at whether or not this is something you want to purchase. And I don't even know if I'm willing to part with them. But let me explain to you what this man does to this woman, okay? Now, I'm watching this clip. You got 3 people on the couch. You've got one woman who's extremely overweight, looking somewhere between the 400, 500 pound range, okay? It's a little threatening. It's a little unhealthy. Not here to get into where your weight should be at. My weight's higher than it should be too. We're all human. But this one was ungodly, okay? Next to her, her husband, who, of course, is in regular shape. Now, does he definitely have a fetish? Mm-hmm. But you know what? If she's happy being that way and he's happy fucking her that way, I guess that's all cool for them, right? But she's gonna die. She's gonna die, and it's a problem. So you could love her that way, but she's gonna die, and then you're gonna have to find another one, and that takes a lot of time. On a separate couch, either her sister or her cousin, it didn't matter too much for this clip. Now, Dr. Phil is basically trying to explain to this woman, hey, you're too big, you should lose some weight so you don't die. That's all he's trying to say. But the problem is that I guess she's so good at manipulating. She's convinced her husband. Well, I don't even think convinced her husband because he definitely has a fetish, but has convinced her cousin at least that she's healthy, she's fine, there's no problem with her weight. Now, listen to me, guys, when I tell you this. You can have a healthy body at a certain weight. You can be a little thick. You can have a little bit of some to that back burner. And you can still be relatively healthy, okay? Now, would it be better if we were all in extreme shape and had 6 packs? Yeah. But you can live a normal and healthy life without having to have a 6-pack. Trust me, because that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to get back to it, but it's hard. But you can do that. But when you get to 400, 500 pounds, no one can live at that weight healthily. It causes problems. It'll cause problems for your kids. It gets sketchy, okay? So this woman at that weight has convinced her cousin that that's not how it works. Has convinced her cousin that she's actually healthier than her cousin is. And her cousin was normal as well. So this obviously is a lie, and it's driving me crazy looking at these 3. Now you get all this information within 3 seconds of the clip, right? Because Dr. Phil is going to the woman and going, you weigh too much. And then her husband is there, and you can tell it's her husband because they're holding hands. So who else would he be? Or her boyfriend or whatever, you get the point. And you see the cousin on the couch going, no, she's actually healthier than me. And that's my favorite start to a YouTube video because we got right into it. There's no extra fat that we had to trim off of that video. We're getting right down to the fucking protein, okay? Woman's too big, husband doesn't care, cousin's delusional. Woman's delusional. So the cousin's sitting there going, oh no, she if you go in her fridge, she actually eats healthier than me. Now, the problem is Dr. Phil, being Dr. Phil, obviously also has a dick pic guy on his team, I'm sure. Or girl, again, equal employment. But had his team go through the receipts. Not only did this woman want to convince Dr. Phil she was healthy, but she actually provided him with a list of food that she ate the day before. And now when I tell you guys, this was about 2 weeks worth of food. Okay, you're gonna want to say that I'm exaggerating. If hopefully I have it in mind to do it. Go online, look up the clip, Dr. Phil as a savage, or if you're on YouTube, look in the description to see if I left the link there to listen to the fucking list this woman provided for Dr. Phil, and it's 2 weeks worth of food. Okay, I'm talking. She had a 6-egg omelet with a whole bell pepper and a cup and a half of cheese. Then she had like 4 potatoes worth of hash browns. Then she had like 3 bowls of cereal and like toast with butter. Then she had bacon, sausages. She had probably a Denny's platter. It was like at least 10 different items. That was her breakfast. And then of course, so first, the first snapback Dr. Phil provided me for his collection, this one right here. Right? The cousin saying, oh, if you look in her fridge, she actually eats healthier than me. Her fridge is all full of fruits and vegetables. So he lists all these food. Here's hash browns. Here's the omelet. Here's the bell pepper. Here's the 3 cups of cheese. Here's the pancakes. Here's this. Oh, and she had a couple of strawberries for sure. You got to get that fruit in, right? Oh, you're done. Oh, you're done. She had all of that, but she did have 3 strawberries. You've got to get that fruit in, right? Hey, you're done. We don't have to see how long it's going to take her to die, because Dr. Phil just moited that bitch, okay? He goes on, reads about 9 more items. Now, all of these 9 items were her breakfast, mind you. These were all just her breakfast. Completes that list, then proceeds to say, oh, let me tell you, you guys aren't ready for this one. Then proceeds to say, all of this food only held her for 45 minutes. And that's probably how long she took to eat it. Oh! Oh no! Hey, Dr. Phil just killed you. Hey, ma'am, don't worry about what size casket you're going to get. It's too late. That's your boyfriend and your cousin's problem. Because Dr. Phil just got you. You walked into a house with your stalker in it. You walked into a house expecting there to be a little girl. A little underage girl that you were going to take advantage of. You turn around the corner and what do you see? Dr. Phil. And he shot you. Going away for a long time. Dude, premium top level selection of snapback. So what I'm praying for is that some point within the next month, while this is still like primo in my memory, I go somewhere and someone who is obscenely overweight tries to insult me or tries to insult my lady. Because, I've got the prime rib snapback. It's a little dad hat, but it's like a dad hat with a little prime rib on it. Tiny Meat Gang logo on the front of the hat, and it's a snapback. And it's sitting waiting for somebody who weighs too much to try to say anything to me. Hey, be 400 pounds and let me know that and come on my stream and try to say something to me. I'm just going to send you a YouTube link. And I got you. You're done at that point. And I cannot get over this clip. I can't get over a lot of stuff I've seen on Dr. Phil. I was watching. Okay, so I mentioned it before. The woman who had muscular dystrophy. So let me explain this to you, okay? The woman didn't have muscular dystrophy. This woman lied. Okay, she's walking around the day before. So they basically have this camp where if you have disabilities, you can go to the camp. And they do activities with you. They help you with your stuff. They take care of their patients. Lovely little place they've got there. Now, this woman, literally the day before she goes, is walking around just like you and me. Then she goes and buys herself a power wheelchair. Like the electric ones where you push the little knob and then it drives you around. Also, by the way, I want one of those for me, and I don't have disabilities. So her being in that chair is not the problem that I have. Because, dude, honestly, if I had all the money, I literally might come home and have a powered electric wheelchair at the door, sit in it, and then just drive around my house constantly. Because who wants to get up, Hey, trying to figure out why I gained the weight in the first place, guys. Having an epiphany here. Having a moment of realization here. Oh, maybe I got a little lazy and that's why I gained too much weight, huh? But my problem isn't that she's chilling in the chair. I like those chairs. Okay? Ever since I was a kid, I've always thought wheelchairs were the shit. I remember one day I was staying over at my grandmother's house, and my grandmother had one of those, my great-grandmother had your ordinary wheelchair. And while she was sleeping, my godbrother and I were just driving around the house in the wheelchair. It was a good old time when I was like 9, 10 years old, however old I was when we did this. Down in the old dirty Bronx, Down in the old dirty Bronx. Driving around in wheelchairs with my bro. Trying not to wake my great-grandmother up before she couldn't do much about it. She was pretty bedridden. But anyway, that's her problem. Dude, this woman buys this power wheelchair, tells her family, hey, I'm going to go to this camp where volunteers help people with disabilities, and I'm going to go volunteer. And then she shows up to the camp as a patient, claiming she has muscular dystrophy, and then just participates in everything. They take her horseback riding. This bitch apparently can't walk, but they throw her on top of a horse, I don't know why the solution to every addiction and every problem is horses. We got to start looking up the science behind what the hell happens when you hang out with these horses, dude. Every time there's like a troubled teen, they send them to a ranch where they take care of and ride horses. You've got physical disabilities, you can go to camp and take care of, meet, pet, and ride horses. Are we all depressed because we don't have enough space or money to afford horses? I thought the whole solution for everybody was dogs, but when you have depression problems, they don't take you to a kennel. They don't take you to a dog breeder and say, hey, you're going to help him raise these puppies. I guess the dog breeder doesn't want you touching the fucking things anyway because he's trying to keep them mental for his clients so he can make a lot of money off of his customers. But they send you to go take care of horses. Is it that horses don't like you and they have to grow to like you? Is that what it is? Or maybe people are too comfortable with dogs, but there's some secret to having a horse as a friend. And I'll tell you, you know what? Glad I could help any woman who's ever dated me because hung like one, Let's go, boys. What's up? But seriously, what's up with these horses? Well, I get why you guys like me so much on Twitch now because I'm hung. I'm going to say it again. What's up? Anyway, this woman goes, pretends she has this disability that she does not have, which you have to mind you, like I could not pull this off. I have restless leg, right? Now, not like I get like leg pains or anything, but habitually I will start shaking my leg on the floor and I don't realize I'm doing it when I'm doing it. So I couldn't go in and say, hey, I have muscular dystrophy because at some point I would start shaking my leg and they would go, hey, dude, you said you're paralyzed from the waist down. What's going on with your knee? Why is your knee full of motion blur right now? And then I would have to get out the chair, pack my things up, and go. This woman goes, claims she has this condition, has the caretaker swap out her tampons, wipe her ass, help her shower, okay? So definitely there's some weird fetish to that too, because even if I had to pretend I had this disability, because let's say I just wanted to go ride a horse and I realized that if I pretended I had a disability, it would be free. I'm one of these pieces of shit that would do this. And I show up and I go, oh, I'm paralyzed from the waist down. And, but put me on a horse though. First of all, my plan would be to steal the horse once I'm on it. I would learn how to drive the horse and then ride that shit back home. That would be plan number one, okay? But you tell me I have to get to a point in the day where I've got to now pretend I can't move and a woman or man has to sit me down, equal employment, has to sit me down in a bathroom Watch me. I get the showering you part. I get how that could be all kinky for you. But then you're going to go relieve yourself and they have to wipe your poopy butt. They have to get in there with a baby wipe and scrub out that doodle juice. You're telling me these people got to scrub your doodle juice? And you're fine with that? That doesn't bother you? Next level of psycho. Imagine someone having to take a loofah to your ass crack to squeegee up your doodle juice. And you're fine with that? And I'm supposed to respect this? It's insane how some people are. But you know what? Maybe I'm crazy too because I can't stop fucking listening to stories about them. Maybe they subconsciously make me feel better about myself. I don't know, guys. Maybe that's what it is. But hey, to those people out there, you guys are freaking weird. Don't come near me or my followers because we definitely got one follower that's very keen on eating ass, but that's his business. Don't mean he want your doodle juice. He wants the doodle juice of women that he's close to and comfortable with, not random women who show up at his house claiming they can't walk. That'd be a problem. Now, maybe they can't walk when they leave his house. That's different. But maybe they've got muscular dystrophy on their way back home. But their legs were fine when they showed up. You know what I'm saying? Guys, life is crazy. I'm so obsessed with this content. Outside of that, what have I been doing lately? Getting a lot of YouTube videos up. The podcast being one of them. So far, 2020, we've been pretty good on our goals. Now, I haven't. The only one has been the weight loss has been a problem because I'm a piece of shit. And oh man, I like food. But this week we're really gonna hunker down because next week we're heading out to Philadelphia, which also means that I'm gonna have to change the recording date of the podcast next week. So when that tweet does go up saying, "Hey, put your questions in," you're gonna have less time. So you guys better be on top of it because you might miss your chance. And if people don't send me any questions for the podcast, then it ends at 40 minutes and we move on. Let me explain to you guys the structure because I mentioned it in the last episode, but let me get very keen on what we're doing here. I'm going to talk for 40 minutes. I'm watching the timer the entire time that I'm recording this, okay? Right now I see that I'm at like 27-ish minutes heading on 28. I am going to record 40 minutes worth of talking. And once I hit that 40-minute mark, I'm going to go online. I'm going to look at the questions I've been sent. And I'm going to pick and answer roughly 3 to 5 of them, given how long my answers take. Assume 3 questions. And then I'm going to say goodbye and I'm going to turn the podcast off. Now, if I get to 40 minutes and I go on Twitter and there are no questions, I'm going to say goodbye and I'm going to turn the podcast off. So it's not on me. If you want those extra 5 minutes of sweet entertainment, you got to get them in, man. And you got to get them in on time. Don't slack around, Don't be one of those guys that goes on Discord and tries to ask me a question in Discord. It says, "Hey, can you answer this on the podcast?" No. You go to the Twitter page. You find the post that says, "Hey, get your questions in for next week. Reply to this tweet." I made it easier for you. You know why I made it easier too? Because I had a different strategy before. Before it used to be tag me and hashtag JudgeMental in it. And then I'll look up that hashtag. And in the future, I'd like to get back to that because it's easier to look up the hashtag. But I made it easier. I said, here, I will post a tweet, simply comment on this tweet. And some people still couldn't figure it out. Some people still couldn't figure that out. Also, guys, don't get upset at me every time if your question doesn't make it in because sometimes your boy gets a lot of questions. This week, I think I got exactly the 3, so we're good to go. Last week, I got 11. Hey, that would be the whole podcast. I'm saying, give me some questions. This isn't an AMA. And when people heard the podcast and they go, "Oh, my question didn't end up in there, huh?" Nah. Didn't have time. Try again next week. Sorry. And to be honest, I am. I wish I had the time to answer every question. But if that's your concern, just ask me questions on stream then. You want to ask me how tall I am? Ask me on stream. What size are my shoes? Ask me on stream. How thick are them cheeks? But if you like it in podcast format, if you want, those archives disappear after a while. I know you can save them or whatever. I don't have the kind of setup where I can afford to save 16 hours worth of live streams every week on my computer. It would blow up. But once it's in the podcast, it's there for life. It gets cemented forever. This is never going away, right? I could never try to run for office because the amount of stuff I'm going to say here is going to be ridiculous. So, I'm giving that up for you guys. I'm giving up the potential of my future because I came on here and I said doodle juice. And not only did I say doodle juice, I said it a pretty loud, clear, and convincing 4 to 5 times. 6 or 7, including me saying doodle juice then, 8 with me saying it again just now. So those options are gone for me. Okay? The least you guys could do is subscribe. Is hit the old subscribite. Now, in the process of trying to learn content creation, while it's fun for me, and it is fun for me, otherwise I wouldn't be bothering doing it. It's I don't understand people who have hobbies that they don't like. I've seen people like this who are just like, oh, what do I do in my spare time? I lift weights, but I hate, most people who lift weights love it. They love being in shape. They love the process. They love getting new PRs. But I've seen people who are like, yeah, man, in my spare time, I lift weights. And they're always pissed off about it. Hey, man, you don't like it that much. Hey, girl, you're not having fun. I think, for a lot of people, you need a side hobby that's fun for you, man. You need a creative outlet. We've all got too many ideas in our fucking heads, dude. And if we don't get them out, if we can't engage and get them out of our heads, they sit in there forever. And that's mental stress, man. That's a pile of mental stress that gets on you. Now, I get it out through the podcast, posting tweets, streaming, getting YouTube videos out. That takes a big mental load off of me. I also feel productive. It's like, hey, I did something with my time. I made some content, and not only did I have an idea, but it's out there for people to see. You can look at what I wanted to do. You can look at how I spent my time. With other hobbies, it's different ways. When I got into playing guitar, all the practicing would be done by myself. I'm going to sit in my room, I'm going to learn this song for 3 months. But then once I learn it, I can go out and show people, hey, I learned this song for 3 months. And man, is there any feeling that's better in the world than being able to do something that other people can't do? Now, of course, a lot of people could stream. A lot of people could make a podcast. This isn't that hard. I have a microphone that I've had for years, and I downloaded Audacity, and here we are. It's not that hard, But a lot of people won't do it. A lot of people don't have the consistency to do it. And this is how we're taking over the world, guys. This is how the Kevin Cologne brand is going to be spread throughout the universe. It's just consistency. Hard work and dedication, sure, that's in there. Let's put those to the side for now. It's just consistency. And what I've learned from, because everybody and their mother wants to be a YouTube person now, wants to be a streamer, okay? I can't really go to work. I can't really go to places with people I don't know and talk about streaming. I'll talk about it as a hobby. I'm not like ashamed of what I do, but it's not a career, at least not yet. I would like if it became one, but I can't talk about it to people as if it is one until it gets there. But I'm putting the time in. Now, I've seen so many people who want to do it and just do not put the time in. It's, you've got to be consistent with this stuff that you want to do. If you decide, hey, man, I want to become a nutritionist, put the time in. You want to get in shape, put the time in. It's 2020. You've got a whole new 10 years. Do not fuck up your first one. This is the time to get it together and get it going. You're not going to sit around and get lazy now. You're going to die eventually. You've only got so much time, and then you're going to die eventually, dude. Let's get this done. Let's get this going. What are we doing? How are we living? I've had friends who are like, hey, man, I want to get into streaming, and then have not streamed since they've said that to me. Have bought, giant loads of equipment, have, got a whole setup going, prepped everything, got their channel branded, did all of this stuff, have not streamed. I've seen people, Oh, you know what's worse too? I've had friends who or I've seen people, let's say, that get into this whole YouTube thing, that get into the streaming thing, and then are just not researching how to grow it. You know, you got to be open minded too. It takes a lot of adjusting. You got to be open to criticism. You got to, you got to remember this is all stuff where, as much as I want to do what I want to do, and I do for the most part get to run it how I want to run it, and that's the fun of it, to be my own boss. But there's certain things you got to learn about search engine optimization. You got to learn about how to engage with your audience, how to develop a personality, how to establish a brand. There's business aspects to everything. Everything at some point, no matter how much you love it, does become a job in some way. With all of this content creation stuff, that's how this becomes a job. Should I do a podcast? How do I run my stream? What do I stream? When do I stream? How do I stay consistent? What content do I put up? What's the format for that? How do I market it? How do I make sure people find it? How do I build a community? How do I engage with the community? And you also have to fucking care about it, man. You know how stressful doing all of this would be for me if I hated it? You know how hard it would be to run a Discord if I didn't like the people in my Discord? If I wasn't making actual friends? Do you think I could stream for 16 hours? I could talk in Discord all week with everybody. If all I did, imagine I hated, I've got like maybe 100 something people in my Discord now. Imagine I hated all of you. And then I had to pretend that I liked you and talk to you all week. And then I had to stream and pretend that I liked you and talk to you all week. And then off of stream when we played, I had to pretend that I liked you. You know how hard my life would be? Nobody would be able to keep up with that. And if people, people are sociopaths. Some people can manage to do it, get into a character. But, this like quote unquote job is easier for me because I like you guys. Because you guys entertain me. Because you guys have good personalities. Because you guys have brought things into my life. I've brought content and ideas and jokes and formulas and advice and, all of this stuff that I wouldn't have without you guys. It's great. I fucking love it. And that's why I sit here and do this shit so much. And I spend so much time sitting in Photoshop trying to make things look nice, trying to figure out how to be funny. But man, guys, when you're chasing after your goals the same way, I hope it fuels the same fire in you. I hope you have the same passion for it because you need it. If your thing is like, hey, I just fucking love skateboarding, go skateboard, man. You have to have a thing in your life that you fucking love that you just do for you. And streaming is great for me and YouTube is great for me because I love to do it. And it just happens to turn out some people like to watch it and, makes me feel good, gives more purpose to what I'm spending my time on. But if you guys do not have something like this, you need something like this. I'm not saying it has to be streaming. Maybe you like MMA. Maybe you like skateboarding. Maybe you like music. Maybe you like singing. Maybe you like coding. Maybe you like fashion. Maybe you like painting. I can't fucking paint. That's a thing you could do that I can't do. But just, please go after it. Please go after it and have a great time and be a great person and bring your creative outlet into the world. Share what it is that makes you, you. I'm trying to share what makes me, me. Be yourself and do it and have fun because I want you guys to fucking grow. I want to see the process for everybody. I want all of us to succeed because there are enough people out in the world who are not going to do it. Every time you're walking and you see one of those friends that you had in high school and you're like, man, that guy fucking did nothing with his life. Every person that you see that did nothing with their lives are giving you more opportunities to do something with yours because they opted to not take advantage of the opportunity. So there's 5 or 10 opportunities that would have gone to them that they said no to that are now yours. Go claim them. Let that man sit at home. Let him sit at home doing nothing. Go claim your opportunities. You know why there's a chance that I can make it streaming and doing YouTube? Because there's enough people, even though there's a bunch of people out there who are doing it, there's so many people who are out there not doing it. Who don't have it in them. Who could do it, who would be better than me at it, but just don't want to get off their ass or sit in a chair. It's sitting in a chair. I'm sitting in a chair for so much of my week, and then I go to work and I sit in a chair. And I'm growing doing that. And I want to see you guys do the same. Guys, let's get into the Twitter questions for the week. Of course, as always, you go on Twitter. If you go on Twitter, I have to learn to speak more clearly. I slur a lot. Well, not slur, but you know what I'm saying. I flub my words. If you go on Twitter, at Judgment Pod, every week there will be a tweet provided for you that will explain to you that if you drop your questions in the replies, you get a chance to have them featured on the next episode of the podcast. For the last 5 minutes of the podcast, once we hit the 40-minute mark, we talked about, you're excused, we talked about this. Here are the questions for this week. I've got 3. I'm going to go through them. I'm going to answer them, and then we're going to go on with life. Got question number 1 from TheBane99, at TheBane. That's TheBaane. So many A's, huh? If you could live anywhere in the world free of charge, where would it be? Manhattan. Now, I already live in Queens, but if I could live in Manhattan free of charge, first of all, you know how nice of a place I would get? Do you know how nice of a place I would get? Now, I know some people are like, oh, I would go to Texas and have this giant house and have all of this land to myself. I don't want deers up and down my driveway. I don't want to go to Texas and look outside and there's a deer in my driveway. Now, do we all love watching what's his name? What's the guy on Twitter? Is it Cold Game Kev? Young whatever. That guy that feeds Canela, the fucking deer, all the fruits. Do we love watching him? Yeah. And he can have all of that land. I would have the biggest fucking warehouse flattish type apartment that you could find in Manhattan. It would just be full. It would have a set. It would be completely open. I'd have a stream section. I would have, my bed where the magic would happen, the magic of sleep. It would be fucking great. And then you would leave your place and everything's around. Everything's around. I don't need to drive to a rural suburban area. I'm in the city. Everything's happening here. Now, will Iran hit it with bombs? I don't know, but would that be a fucking way to go? Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't like it, but you'd all remember my story. And then I win, Question number 2 we've got from Aiden Main, at Aiden Main 115. What are your thoughts on the Joker as a character in Mortal Kombat 11? Same question for Spawn. I can hit you with a real quick one for that. Excited about Joker, don't care about Spawn. Joker's the shit. I'm a big fan of the Injustice series. Love him in the Injustice series, like his moveset, like what he does. We obviously at this point saw the trailer for him, for his reveal, and he's the shit. He looks cool. I'm not going to main him, but I am going to play around with him. The characters that I do use, I like using already. But Spawn couldn't give 2 shits. Didn't care when he was in Soul Calibur 2. I know about the comics. I know his character. I've always thought his design was okay. I'm not a big edgelord guy. When I feel like designs are kind of like too over the top, I get bored with them. Spawn has that kind of design where I just feel like it's too much. I don't really like how he looks. I don't like the enormous amount of chains and the cape and the black and the what. But people out there are going to be happy about it. And you know what? Ed Boon has wanted Spawn in the Mortal Kombat game for forever. And it's his series. So I'm happy he got him in there. And we've got one more question, also from Aiden Main. Name the top 3 characters you would wish to fucking die in MK11 and to not show up in the next game. All right, so my first response to that is, hey, what an aggressive way to ask a question, huh? Top 3 characters you wish would fucking die? Listen, I know Mortal Kombat is about ripping people's hearts out, but goddamn, man, watch your mouth. We still humans. That's a pretend world, Aiden. Now, here's the problem with your question from a lore standpoint. If you guys aren't into Mortal Kombat, podcast is over for you. We're done. But spoiler, the game's been out for fucking so long. If you haven't beaten the story by now, it's your fault. The way the story ended, the whole timeline is starting over. So it doesn't matter who dies. Every single one of them can come back. Now, if there were 3 characters I would prefer to have, I would way rather have Cyrax and Sector. I don't know why they're not in the game already. I could care less about Melina, I'm not mad that people want Melina, but don't care. I'm waiting for Fujin, man. All I'm waiting for in this game is for Fujin to come out, and then I found my true main. Once Fujin comes out, if he's ass, it's fine. It's over. I'm a Fujin main. It doesn't matter. But, three characters in let's say three characters in MK11 that bore me. I don't really care about, let's see who's in the game. Devora, I find pretty disinteresting. Yeah, Devora sucks. Aaron Black, I don't care about. I'm glad people like him, but he does nothing for me. So it would be Devora, Aaron Black, and I hate fighting Kung Lao, I guess. So let's say Devora, Aaron Black, and Kung Lao for now. Because if I try to give it more thought than that, this will be a 2-hour podcast with me answering one question for 2 hours. But guys, for everybody else, I appreciate you coming through. We're going to cut it here because I've hit my time, huh? And we'll catch you guys next week. Of course, follow the podcast on Twitter at JudgeMental. That link will be in the description below. And get your questions ready for next week's podcast if you'd like to have them answered. Guys, it's a pleasure as always. I love you all, and I will see you next week. Go live your life. It's 2020.